Okay, that's not what I was expecting to see with live stream. Shouldn't I see? Uh-oh. Man, it was working like a hot second ago. Okay, I'm breathing. And hi, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday Six. And I do not have my six over here. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit. If you will, as I'm getting this figured out, you can put some of the lovely things that have happened to you over the last month. It's been a month because of one of my things in the live stream. It was working fine right before I changed it to the starter. And then changed it to the starter. Let's try that again. Maybe if I switch it and go back. Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again? Let's go. Stream. I should have window capture 2. It's supposed to be on top. All right, y'all. It's going to get a little funky here. Let's go video capture device. That's this one. If I move it, the window capture is just not heckin' there. Huh. Okay, so window capture 2, and I go to settings. Well, it looks like it's there. Just the box is gone. All right, so let's do it this way. So if I no, I did not double tap on that. I was just trying to move it. If I delete window capture 2, goodbye. Yes, I want to remove it, but it's okay because I'll put it back in and then it'll be fine. Yes, I want to remove it. All right, let's add that sucker back in. Da-da-da. Ooh, and I've got a little bit extra glare on here. Window capture. Window capture 2. Okay. No, I want Saturday 6. Okay. Fingers crossed. All right, so this is what it looks like in my non-edited version. So push down the Alt key, then I go here and move it over. No, now I move it over this way. No, I want that. And then I think if I go like this, it'll make it bigger. No, but I want it bigger this way too. It's very finicky. Okay, and then I move it over, so then I make it bigger again. Whoop, whoop. No, the Alt key was held down. Ah! And now I pull it up, so all we see is the purple. Make it bigger again. I can make it bigger. There we go. All right, so that looks good-ish to me. So if you can't read that, I got plenty of room here. I can make it bigger. So yeah, that was interesting. Sometimes things just don't go as planned, but this time, fortunately, they were pretty easy to fix. So I'm pretty happy about that, actually. Oh, Scott, sounds like you're having adventures here. Oh, that's awesome. In and out of college. So essentially, the bills are about the same, I'm guessing. Maybe actually less, because the younger one who has just started college would have been in the house previously to that. So now are you an empty nester now? Sort of. So yeah, this is it's only a little bit behind the scenes, because let me tell you, it's not looking at all the bead craft that's just kind of sitting over here, all the papers that are sitting right down here, the pens and cords and silk flowers that I have. That one's kind of large. I should put that away, but it doesn't fit neatly, and I don't want to smoosh it. And I haven't exactly figured out what I'm going to do with it. And my tea is over here, and I've got more bead stuff over here. I have a necklace that I've been working on. Actually, I'll go ahead and show you. Be careful here so that I don't just, please don't spill the beads everywhere on live camera. Oh, great. The pluggy any cord is. Okay, let's not destroy things. Here we go. Okay, so here it is. Ta-da! It's just little acrylic beads, sparkly, different colors. So it's just kind of fun to do. And it's on a little clear elastic band. How many character sheets? Actually, no character sheets here. Those are out in the living room, we have brainy. We have a bookcase with all our gaming books, and then there are also binders that have folders, and that's where our character sheets go. So it's a system. Um, and then over here, it's just like more books, glue gun, markers, paper towels, masks, more markers, hand lotion, my cinnamon scented hand lotion, lovely stuff. Oh, and I was hoping this would show up, but now I swear it did last time, but it didn't. I need to, so I've made the necklace shorter, and I had to jury rig it by putting a safety pin through this, but I'm going to make it even shorter because my cool little pendant is not showing up on camera. So I'm going to do that too. I was really happy with how this turned out. So, this was actually one that was attached to a shirt. I think that's shorter. Let's find out. This was attached to a shirt that I purchased at like TJ Maxx or something. I was like, hey, yes. And I'm just going to like take it off the shirt. There we go. You can kind of see it there. It's a cute little pendant. It's got a little, and it's all metal. It's like a chain fringe. So it like dangles nicely and it doesn't get tangled in like cloth or something, which is super nice. So almost identical billing, but you're making progress. Progress is being made. Scott, alas, if it was only a corner, it's kind of craft all over the place with Dana. So, okay. Wait, what did I miss on the tuna? La 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 la. And thank you about the flag. Although I might be doing a video about that. Haven't really decided yet because I'm a little tentative. Apparently, it shows up if you on the thumbnail. You know how like on YouTube, if you hover over a thumbnail, you'll get a little bit of the animation. And I think that's why one of the teachers in my department was asked if I'm gay, and she was like, she's married, so I don't think she's gay. And I'm just like, that's, I think I'm thinking about putting that in my teacher tips section for how to approach when, dealing with this. If you get asked that either about yourself or about another teacher, or just really some of those slightly awkward questions in general, how to approach that. But at the same time, I'm not entirely certain. One of those things that won't get you fired. So, 50 cans of tuna delivered tomorrow. Ah, yes, because of the cat being on the keyboard. Got it. Oh, thanks, L-Dog. Well, I'm glad you joined us. So Saturday 6 is where I talk about 6 good things that are happening, some of them in my life and some of them just sort of around the world. And I invite people to share good things about their lives. And that's actually a great segue into talking about the 6 themselves. So this is the Saturday 6. And the first thing that I have on here is, let's line it up nicely. The reason that I did not have a Saturday 6 2 weeks ago was because I was spending time with family, which has its ups and downs sometimes, but overall, I am very, beyond grateful to have the family that I have. I don't think that there's anybody in my family that I actively just don't like, or that I, dread spending time with. I like all of my family members. And I think I'm really lucky. I will say that the other teacher, when she told me about this, said that, she said that I think Ms. Cole is just trying to be, supportive of all her students. It's like, yes, absolutely. And not just students, of course, but just people. Yes, absolutely support. And, so yeah, I'm glad that we got a chance to, even though I did miss doing the stream. It was nice to get together and have a meal with family. We had like actual lasagna, just layered. It was really good and delicious actually. And garlic toast and salad, and then my husband made cake for it was his dad's birthday. And his parents are younger than my parents, and I've also been just very aware of my parents, given the recent medical issues. I'm very aware of, the limited time that we have with the people we care about. And so um, it was just really nice. Our nephews are they're like they're at the age where they look like kind of stretched out. Um, they've there's still just a tiny bit of like the baby chub in the cheeks, but it's not as much there in like the limbs. They're not as chonky and squeezable as they were. They're getting in the knobby stage, and they still talk really fast about the things that they're excited about. Um, they're still very active, which is good. Because that's actually going to be activity is one of the other elements here. And it was nice. It wasn't a huge family gathering, so that was also nice. Um, it was just nice to spend time together. You know, we're different people. We don't all like the same things, so it's mostly just about how our lives are going and connecting with each other. And that was a good thing. It was nice to have that just sort of downtime with people that have your back. I am so just I can't put words to it for how grateful I am to have family who has my back. And actually, not I think in a couple of Saturday Sixes I'll be with my side of the family, um, getting together with some extended family in South Carolina, and I think I'll be able to stream from there, and I might be able to get a few of them to join me and just say hi. So that would be kind of cool. But yeah, I'm so grateful that not only do I have some family that I get along with, that has my back, that I care about, that we help each other out, but that I have lots of family like that. I'm really, really grateful for that. All right, next. Oh, I cut off the numbers. Well, this is number 2. I'm I'm not gonna mess with the my little box there anymore. Like it's good where it is. Cheryl Lee Ralph's speech. Oh, at the Emmys. Oh, first of all, she's amazing. Um, I don't know if you have a chance to watch Abbott Elementary or if you're already a fan, but um, a lot of times when there are shows that are set in schools or involve schools, they're just challenging for me to enjoy. Um, because I'm just like, yeah, it doesn't work that way. No, that's wrong. That's so wrong. That would never happen. But this one, even except for one case, which all gets regularly mentioned on social media, it is very authentic. And the one thing that gets mentioned is how in the world do they have time to leave campus during lunch and get their nails done? Like one of the episodes, they go and get a manicure, and it's just no. Yeah, Steve, exactly. I don't, well, I haven't seen as many awards acceptance speeches as you have, but it was so good. First of all, she opens singing and she nails it. She nails it. So, um, but it wasn't like it was obviously she had to have rehearsed that. She was familiar with the song. She was on key. She just right smack in her full gorgeous chest voice. And then talking about the importance of representation and how much of and working towards your goals and your dreams. And then talking about the people who helped get her there, and just the power in her voice. When you have friends like I do, when you have a husband like mine, when you have children like mine, then you know that you can achieve great. Oh my goodness, she was so powerful, and it was absolutely amazing. And also, her character, I don't know if it's the one that I identify with the most. I think I identify most with the redhead, who is just like, doing a good job and has a mouth on her. But so Cheryl Lee Ralph's character is the one who is just like amazingly good at her job. And she's just like the quintessential veteran teacher. I don't think I'm quite there. I don't think I don't think I'm ready to claim that I'm there yet. But of course, I think, and I hope that she is the teacher that every teacher aspires to be. And so seeing her get like an award for that performance was really great. It was great. And the speech itself, like Steve says in the chat, was absolutely fabulous. So, um, yeah, it was great. Um, so something that I saw, scrolly, 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 here we are. As I was poking around looking for news sort of in general, um, there was a survey that was done of, I think, about 2,000 adults. So not like really huge, but one of the things that they found that was confirmed in their survey was um, a correlation between expressing gratitude on a regular basis and how happy people rated themselves. And she knows a guy. Now, Steve, I don't identify with that teacher in that regard because, like, a lot of the times I don't feel very connected. I feel like a lot of the times I'm just kind of doing what I can, hunkering down and doing things on my own. So in that case, not so much. Although, if I was up in Jersey, I might know a guy. At any rate, going back into the one that I've got here. So it was interesting to see this, which is something that I've thought, but it was nice to see this cross the news. And this is something that's relatively recent. These are things, the ones that are not just my personal stuff. I'm going to put links to the articles. I'm going to try to find a full video of the awards acceptance speech. I found like other news sources referring to it, but I haven't, the one that I saw on Twitter originally, which was like the full speech, haven't been able to find. It's kind of a bummer. So I'm going to look for that. But the others, I have links to the articles. So I will try to remember to put them down in the description once the stream's over. So yeah, when people make a practice of looking for good things in their life and expressing gratitude for what's going well, there's a correlation between that and their perception of or their self-evaluation of how happy they are. And it's kind of a chicken or the egg thing. Is someone who is generally happy with their life, well, presumably they may just have more things to say that they're grateful about. But I think it also does work the other way as well. And that's L Dog, you asked about that, and that's why I do this, the Saturday Six. One of the reasons I started this was because things, with COVID and other stuff, things have been definitely challenging for a lot of people and for me too. And so the practice of, I've been trying to be more intentional about practicing expressing gratitude and going live in front of, even a small audience. And of course, it stays up there too. So like the whole internet gets to see this, it puts some additional responsibility. Like I feel not just an obligation, but I've said that I'm going to do this thing, and it's really when I say that I'm going to do something, it's really important to me that I follow through on that. That's one of my hopefully positive quirks, but I'm kind of a stickler about when I say I'm going to do something, I do the thing. And it's also helpful to me in the sense that it gives me a way to pull back from overextending myself, which I have a habit of doing, of saying I'm not comfortable committing to committing. Wow, that was interesting. I'm not comfortable committing to something, to doing something, to making a commitment that I'm not almost absolutely certain that I can follow through on. I mean, stuff happens, and I do give myself grace for that. But I was actually messaged Steve earlier, and I said, we were just talking. I said I had a great nap, and then I was like, it's 5:15, and I have a show at 6:00. I'd completely forgotten, and like, I don't have a huge audience. This is not my day job, but I made a commitment to you and to myself and to this channel. This is what I'm going to do, and that's important to me. And so one of the reasons that I made this commitment is because I really do believe that the practice of looking through what's going on and thinking about my life and looking through news articles and my social media feeds and things like that to find things that are good, to talk about things that are good. Hey, Ghost Wheel. Um, the practice of that curation helps me be, well, like it says in the description, we see more of what we're looking for. If you're looking for something, you're going to see more of it. It's kind of like when you get a new car in a really interesting color. Like there's one that's it's kind of teal, but it's like a muted teal that I've started seeing. And if you get a car that's that color that you haven't seen before, it hasn't been very common. All of a sudden, you're going to start seeing cars like that all over the place. It happened to us when I first noticed it when I was, I was in I was in high school because it was right before I was taught to drive. We got a black cherry minivan, which is like really dark, but it's actually really, really, really deep red. And we hadn't seen that color, and all of a sudden, cars, not just minivans too, but also sedans and hatchbacks and stuff. Just it was all over this place, all over the place, all of a sudden. And so it works the same way with good things in life. You start noticing things more because that's what you're looking for. And the practice of looking for it makes you more happy about that, about your life and about the world in general. But in addition, the practice of sharing it with you guys also causes me to reflect on it and to appreciate it more than if I'm just gathering it for myself and putting it like in a scrapbook or a diary. So that's also why I wanted this to be a live stream, not just, I guess I could have done it as a video series, and I'm still kind of sharing it, but it's really nice to have an audience and have people to talk to. So I like that. Anyway, well, Scott, hey, if you think of it, don't put it in the chat, like write it down or something, and then you can put it as a comment. I'm such a sucker for comments. I love them. All right, so going on. This is the next one's like style. So I am absolutely enjoying She-Hulk, and like, I don't know if it's been teaching or if it's been COVID or maybe a combination thereof. But I kind of lost the ability to focus enough on, entertainment to watch movies or television. Like, I can't, the effort, it's not fun in many cases. And so that's one of the reasons that I was just like over the moon with Ms. Marvel. If you have looked at some of my stuff on my channel, Ms. Marvel was just like, that was the first series that I was really excited about. And I was so hoping that it would be good. And then it was! Yes! And it was good. And I was so happy about it. That was just this huge relief because I was really looking forward to it. And I thought it was going to be good. And it was! It was so good. And I really didn't have much of an expectation for She-Hulk, but I've really, really been enjoying the show. And it's just, I like that it's a sitcom and it's short because that's been a big thing. I have difficulty with some of the hour-long shows. It's hard to stay focused for that long. I'm not at the point where I can comfortably watch movies. Like I have to be doing something else and I have to be able to leave the room and come back and leave the room and maybe just stop watching. So it's been really a challenge. My family, they're, when something comes on streaming, they're like, hey, do you want to watch this? I'm like, go ahead. Don't rely on me. Don't rely on me. Watch it without me. And if it's okay for me to be in and out of the room, then maybe, I think at this point I've seen all of Luca because like they've watched it a bunch of times and I've been folding laundry or fixing dinner or something like that. And I'll just be, so I think I know the story, familiar with the characters. I think I've seen the whole thing at this point with as many times as I've walked through the room. Kane, exactly. The short format. And then also there's a series of not like short shorts, but like there's like 20-ish minute animated movies on Disney Plus, I think. And I really enjoyed those. Those were also helpful for me. So I'm just very grateful to have something that I can enjoy watching. And I have no spoilers, y'all. Actually, I don't care about spoilers. So go ahead, spoil away the most recent episode, but I have not watched it yet. I meant to do that today, but I took a nap instead, so I have something else to look forward to. I hope it's good. All right, next, and this is something that we probably know. Johns Hopkins has found a correlation between physical capability in older adults and a decreased risk of heart disease and stroke. And so they did, I think their study was, 5,000 adults, 75 and older. I'm not going to remember all this. They measured three things: their leg strength, their walking pace. The other one might have been either balance. I think it was balance, but it might have been flexibility, but I think it was balance. And they divided them into high, medium, and low groups. And I think they then observed them over the next however long. And they found that even after controlling for risk factors for heart disease and stroke, that people with higher levels of physical capability had lower incidences of heart disease and stroke. So that was really, really interesting. And it's helpful because that is something that we can do. That is something that to some degree we have some control over. And there are some other things that there tend to be comorbidities, factors that sort of influence it. Like if you're overweight or you have hypertension or some other things, it makes it hard to be active and to increase your walking speed or your leg strength. Like my mom has blood pressure issues, and when she exerts herself, like if she walks up an incline or up a flight of stairs, like her pulse starts to race. So that makes it really difficult for her to be physically active. But there are some things that you can do that will help with that. So it's important to be aware of what you're capable of and to to test those limits with care. And that can be goes well. That's a great way of putting it. But also just, especially now, like one of the things I was thinking about putting in here before I started looking through it, I was like, oh, I have this. It's just been really nice out. Like it's pretty outside. Go for a walk, and ideally, if at all possible, go for a walk with somebody that you care about. It's great. It's freaking gorgeous out today. Scott, that's really interesting. This study did not measure that. But yeah, it's the whole, for showing my age here, but the whole I've fallen and I can't get up, being able to get up, is super helpful if you do fall. Okay. Da, 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 da. Hey, I'm almost through. Look at me go. We're all sharks, are we? Oh yeah, because you have to keep moving. To some degree. Somewhat. Movement overall is a good thing. It often feels nice. I'll say that. Because let me tell you, I don't like exercise. But, stretching and, testing your limits, especially once it's over, then it's not so bad. I remember that lady. And help, I've fallen and I can't get up. Yes. I've actually started thinking about that because when I left the Y this morning, I was like, it was just below 80, and then on the drive home, it went up a little bit above 80. I was like, okay, because normally I'll go for a walk and then I'll go to the Y because I live in Northwest Georgia. It's been really hot over the summer. So I get up and I go out for a walk while it's like before sunrise and, watch the sunrise when I walk, and it's not as hot. And lately it's been quite pleasant. And I was just thinking, I'm like, maybe I could sleep in a little bit and then maybe next weekend we'll see how it goes. All right. Heading on down to the end here, and I have a bonus one. If I can remember what it was after I get through this, because I can remember what it is now. We'll see. Okay. Scotland, number 6. Scotland is doing great, you guys. Like, they were on this, I think, just last time. So you can go watch that video. Not going to repeat everything here, but yeah, they also are aware of the rising cost of living and inflation, how it is affecting people. So they are freezing rent. And I'm very curious to look into that more, to see how that works because, of course, like freezing the price on anything that is a source of profit for somebody is going to get some pushback in any sort of capitalist society. So, I'm curious to see what the plan is for how that's going to be how how they're going to control that and implement it. I would guess that you can only raise rent so much over this period of time. But that's, given if property values are going up, that's a challenge, and I'm curious to see how they manage that and how they make it work. Um, so yeah, and then also they're going to freeze rail fares, which is a little bit more understandable given that there are subsidies for, and as I understand it, there's a lot more public transportation available as well. Steve, I am absolutely not surprised that you are claiming credit for this. Um, and Elog, it could happen here. This is one of the reasons that it's important to be involved in your community and to do what you can, make sure that you contact your elected representatives, on a regular basis. Not that you have to be buddy-buddy with them, but, make that, connection. Let them think of you as a person and advocate for the things that people need. Scott, exactly. That's kind of what I was thinking. The plan that I have is that there should be a not correlation. That the minimum wage should be indexed to the median rent by voting district, so that it's not like in a huge area where you've got like high and low cost of living, because like around here, I don't think even at this point, the $7.25 federal minimum wage is a living wage, even here in rural Northwest Georgia. But like when other states have done like a $15 minimum wage, like people around here are like, that's great, you can live on that, and you couldn't live well, but you could survive on a $15 an hour wage. People do. And like, rent, housing, utilities, or rent and housing are the same thing. My bad. Rent, utilities, transportation, medical care if you don't get too sick. But the basics, you can manage on $15 an hour full time. Steve, you're a dork. So, and then capping energy costs. So I think all of those are really important. And then, of course, they have nationalized healthcare, I believe. So there's that on top of it. So yeah, that's definitely something to watch and hopefully learn from. The rising inflation is something that I think economists think they understand it better than they actually do. So I'm always a little bit skeptical of that. All right, so that's my 6. I'm going to scroll back all the way up here. Saturday 6. There you go. Ta-da. And let's see. Okay, so my 6th one was actually, or 6th, my bonus one was actually as I was getting ready for the stream, and I was as I was combing my hair, I think I found a gray hair. And now, see, the thing is, I've combed my hair now, and I don't. Can y'all see it? Wait, is that it? Is that? I think that's it right there. It looks like that might be a gray hair, you guys. And so, yeah, I'm 44. So I'm right at the age when that's probably going to happen. So I think that's my first gray hair. That might be. There have been a couple of times when I've seen one, but I'm not entirely sure. It's hard to tell because when when I get split ends, like especially when they split and they're short, they do that wiggly thing that gray hairs tend to. That their gray hairs are thicker and coarser than hair that hasn't gone gray, and so that they tend to sort of move differently and stand. They don't move with the rest of the hair, and I have a bunch of those, but it's just because they're split ends and they get frizzed out. So yeah, it's interesting. I've got a colleague who's younger than me, and she started going significantly gray. So it's interesting to see the different ways that our bodies change as we age. I've been reading a lot of research on you know brain development, um, and thinking about how best to support student learning. And so a lot of the articles talk about how our brains are fully developed at 25, or that they're not fully developed until we're 25, because they're talking about like high school and college students. And I'm just like, are they though? And what counts as fully developed? Like there's I mean, and some of this is just I don't know. But I'm pretty confident that our brains continue to change and arguably develop like throughout our lives. And so it's just really interesting to me that we've chosen that phase of change to label that as fully developed. The rest of it just counts as like change. IDK. Why? I don't know, but the way we choose to define these terms, it says a lot about our paradigms and what we think about ourselves as human beings and the way that humans are. So we're talking about gray in the chat, so I'll da. Yeah, well, here's the other thing I've noticed, Steve. You've got like gray in your beard, and I think beards go gray before like head hair does. I'm not having a beard, I wouldn't know, but I've noticed it in my husband, and I think the same is true for you. So, those of you who are bearded people or have been bearded people in the chat, I would love to see. That's it's kind of my limited experience with beards vicariously is that you get the gray hair first, and then it comes in like at the temples. And mine seems to be coming in, and that's it's kind of hiding in there because I like to part my hair on the side, but it seems to be coming in like right like here, I think is where the hair is rooted. Um well, I mean, it's okay, Scott. First of all, we still love you, and I'm glad that you have a cat to snuggle. So that's pretty cool. Um huh. That's interesting, Scott. Because the gray hair when I was messing with it in the bathroom, and I was like feeling it. It felt different, and I know that I've seen that, um, like when I've dyed my hair, and I was younger. They say make sure that you're aware, especially if you have like a mix of like kind of salt and pepper hair, that it's going to take to the dye differently because of the different texture of the hair. It's okay, Ghost Wheel. I mean, I think we should talk about those sorts of things, like body hair. Let's just say it, because hair on our bodies is normal. Like it's not fur, it's hair. It's something that makes us unique as humans, and it's natural, and that's okay. There's definitely stigma attached to it, but like I think we would be much happier as human beings if we could just get over that. And by talking about it with people that, we can talk about these things with, who that we're not making them uncomfortable. We want to be considerate of that. Um, we can help in little ways push back against some of that stigma. So I have not seen any graying on, obviously not on my beard, but I haven't seen any gray hair on my body. So I will be curious about how long that takes to, whether it's my arms or my legs or like, any of my, underarms or down here in the private area. So it's distinguished. That's what I'm I mean, distinguished or not, it's a different color. It's kind of shiny, which is cool. um Scott, absolutely. I noticed that too, but I noticed it pretty for me, it was, and I think some of this was because of the medical treatment that I gotten. Um, when I was most recently diagnosed, now when I jumping back, when I was first diagnosed with cancer in my 20s and I had a simple mastectomy, like in a couple of days, I was out of bed. Like, I think I went home from the hospital. It might have been as early as the next day, but it might have been a day later than that but I mean, I was fine, you know. And then a few days later, I was up and out of bed. I did not use all of my pain medicine. I did hang on to it because at that time in my life, I was getting really bad cramps. And let me tell you, that stuff was way better than Aleve. And so that's what I used it for because that's where the pain was. But yeah, I was between surgery and being out of bed and up and out of, I mean, I didn't know, but I really did not. I took a semester off of college and I could have gone back and gotten caught up. I would have missed about 2 weeks of class, but I'd already, withdrawn for the semester on medical leave. So I was like, not going back. So, and then when I was in my 30s and I was diagnosed again, I think the healing from that first mastectomy that mastectomy was not quite as fast, but close. But then I didn't get my reconstruction until after I'd gone through chemo and radiation that time. And it was like the next year I had surgery for reconstruction. And it was so frustrating because I was tired and I ached just like for like weeks. And I was like, why am I not getting better? It just like, and I knew that my body had been through a lot, but that change for me happened over such a short span of time that it was just really, really obvious to me that my body was responding differently to arguably the same or very similar treatment. To the cuts healing did not happen as fast after all that. Um, it's hard. Yeah. L Dog, the one thing that I would say is he's still him. He's been through some changes. But that's something that is something that I kind of talked about that. That's something that happens to all of us throughout the course of our lives. When something happens to the brain, um, those changes they're compressed. And so the change is accelerated in very much the way that the changes in my body were accelerated. But I think there's reason to think that as we continue to age and change and have different experiences, those things literally shape us. I've been reading a lot of research on the effects of our experiences and our environment on brain function and hormone reception, and how it can literally change our genetic makeup. It can also change the way that our genes, like, not fire exactly, but the way that they process information, which ones are kind of turned on to activate and which ones are deactivated. It's absolutely fascinating. We know so much about the way the human body works, and yet there is still so much that we don't know, that we don't understand, and it's absolutely fascinating and exciting. And sometimes it's exhausting to read because I really don't understand all of it, but it's so interesting. Um, Kane, you're absolutely right. Mirror Steve looks shady, but that's just, regular Steve looks shady too. So thank you all for listening to me. We're getting on towards 45 minutes, which is, wrapping up ish time. Um, Today is, let's see, the next one, I think, put my calendar around someplace. Whoop! Still here. All right, Saturday 6th. So yeah, the next one's in October 1st. And I'm hoping that this one was a little bit of a challenge. I lucked out in that when I was looking for good things to include today, the like three things popped right up. I was like, yes. So we'll see. I have some interesting things planned coming up here that hopefully I'll get a chance to talk about. And I'm looking ahead. And that's the end of September. Oh, one other thing. I think since the last live stream, I almost said podcast. Since the last live stream, I sent in a proposal to present at a conference, and this will be my very first time presenting. So I really, really hope that it's accepted. But I'm not going to know until they said they'll have it posted by the end of October. So that is quite a few. In fact, I'll have a live stream right before their deadline, which is like Monday the 31st. So maybe I'll know by then. The 29th is supposed to be a Saturday 6. So maybe I'll know by then, but maybe I won't. So that's going to be, but I will say that just the process of thinking about what I wanted to share and getting together with some of my colleagues in the department and talking with them about it and making a plan, that's been a good experience. I'm trying to hang on to that so that if they say, no, we picked somebody else, but not you, that'll take some of the sting out of it. So, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, for listening, for sharing. That it really, really is a special time for me. It really is. And as usual, if you have the good things that are going on in your life, please share them down in the comments. You know I love comments. Got another one of these in 2 weeks. And other than that, I've got videos here. I also keep a blog that I'm trying to keep updated at teachingandreflection.wordpress.com. And you can also find me, and I cuss, on my Patreon. So if you are a paid patron, then you can access my swear jar videos, which are little short videos that I show you how passionate I am about things in unfiltered, edited for clarity, but you know, the swears are still in there. And also the Commute podcast, where Steve and I talk on the phone as I'm in the car, usually on the way to school, but sometimes, you know, like during the summer, somewhere else. You know, and you get to see what it's like to, when I'm driving and there's nobody else in the car with me, because when there's somebody else in the car, then I express myself differently. Let's just leave it at that. So yeah, those are some things going on here on the channel. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. And I hope you have lots and lots of joy that you are able to find in your life. Bye for now.